Hi guys, now welcome back to my channel. We are here once again with the Ultimate Racing League for the Sunday Championship, and this is round 8, race 2. Now, as you can see, we are still at Dragontail Seaside, but this is the reverse layout. Obviously, I'll just remind you, it's a 3.2 mile long track with 18 turns and an elevation change of 38 meters, and obviously it is based in Croatia. Well, it's an original circuit, and it is a Croatian circuit, and it is based next to the beach, so it's a seaside track. So anyway, we had race 1. We had, obviously, as you saw, we had race 1, and Rossi did win with a fantastic victory for him for race 1. But obviously in this race it is a different kettle of fish, because you have to make a mandatory pit stop of either going on to mediums or hards, depending on what tyre you start on. But anyway, there was obviously no qualifying for race 2. It was basically the top 6 from race 1 went to the bottom reversed, and the bottom 6 from race 1 went up in the positions that they finished. So if you finish in 7th place, you started first, and if you finished in 1st place last race, you started in last. So anyway, Hoggy starts on pole with Bloomfield there in 2nd, Hodgie in 3rd, Sideways in 4th, Rufus there in 5th, Brian Mechanic in 6th, Graham there in 7th. I think Bride did not have the best of races. Race 1, he did sit in the pits for the majority of it, as his car was just not working for him, so he couldn't keep going. Graham there in 7th, Stealthy there in 8th, Chuck there in 9th, P. White there in 10th, Flatby there in 11th, and Rossi, obviously race 1 winner, right at the back. So let's get the gang going and see how the race goes. And it is a lot darker now, so it is sort of dark to night time now, sort of, with all the lights glaring as the lights go out, and Hoggy gets them on the way as they come down towards turn 1. Everyone looks like they've got going okay. No mishaps in the first corner, no. As now they come up to the death chicane for the first time. Hopefully there will be no issues here, hopefully. Brian the Mechanic got it all wrong, and he's gone off, so he hasn't had the best of starts here. As they come through Kellogg's, streaming through Kellogg's corner for the first time, coming up the Mighty Mows onto Soppy 2s. And then through Soppy 2s as they come up the Hills of Might. As he's looking on the first lap, Hoggy has already opened up that gap to Bloomfield. He's running as quickly and as fast as he can, but he is on the hard tyres. Bloomfield is there on the hard tyres also. Hodgie's on the medium tyres. Sideways on the hards. Rufus is there on the mediums. Looks like he's trying to get past Sideways. He is really trying, but he got that all wrong. That's allowed Chuck to get past. So Chuck's had a goodish start. He's already up to 5th. With Graham there up to 6th. P. White there is 7th. Rufus has obviously dropped down to 8th. And he's got Flatby all right behind him there in 9th. Rossi there, obviously they're in 10th. They're all battling out here for the positions as they come down through the death chicane once again. It does look like Rufus is trying to make a play here to try and get past Graham here. Let's run on board with Rufus. He's got Graham right ahead of him. And Flat B right in the distance but not too far away as they come up. They come up Mighty Mo's onto Soppy as he comes up. Mighty Mo's onto Soppy 2's and now goes up the Hills of Might. Graham didn't get out of that very well. He's gone up the inside of Graham. Oh, that was very unfortunate there. Tries to on the outside. Graham is there. They're giving each other plenty of room, but Rufus just lost track a little bit, and that's knocked Graham out of the race at the moment. So it's very unfortunate there for Rufus and Graham, but Rufus has stopped and waited. He's done the right thing, waited for his teammate to catch back up. But now Rufus and Graham is trying to get his car going. He has now got back onto track. And Rufus is literally just waiting there for him to get going. And they are both going again. But anyway, we are on lap 3 with Hodgie there leading the way. He has pulled away from Bloomfield. They are both on the hard tyres as well, coming through the tunnel to the death chicane for the 3rd time. And Hodgie is there still in 3rd place with Sideways trying to catch them up. He's dropped off a little bit too much. Flat B is there in 5th place, so he's having a good run so far. He started in 11th place and he is all the way back up to 5th already, but he has got Rossi right behind him, race 1 winner, trying to do a double header here. Whether he can do it is another question. They're coming through Soppy 2's. Hodgie has gone off. What's happened to Hodgie? Looks like he got the corner a little bit wrong as he comes up Mighty Mo's. Hits the turn coming into Soppy 2's. Hits curb too much and it's just spat him out. So it's very unfortunate for Hodgie because he was doing quite well there. That's going to drop him down all the way down to 7th position. P. White may get past here as well. He does, so that's dropped him down to 8th. So that's very unfortunate for him. Stealthy there in 9th, with Brian Mechanic there in 10th currently. And Graham is there quite a way back in 11th. Rufus there in 12th. We're at lap 3 going on to lap 4. Currently Hodgie does have the fastest lap, with Bloomfield there in 2nd position. He is dropping off a little bit from Hoggy. Hoggy's at the moment having the race all his own way. Whether Bloomfield can do anything about that is another question. Sideways there in 3rd, but he's got Flat B, Rossi and Chuck all bearing down on him currently, looking to try and get that position from Sideways, get into the top 3. Coming through the death chicane once again. Looks like Sideways got that a little bit wide. That's allowed Flat B to go for a move. Flat B's now up to 3rd. Sideways is down to 4th, but looks like Flat B went out a little bit wide there, but he managed to keep it going. And now Rossi is going for a move on Sideways. They are side by side. Rossi fighting for that 5th position. But Chuck is there in 5th as well. He's fine for it as well as they come through Soppy 2's once again. So Sideways has dropped down 1, 2, 3, 4. He's dropped 4 positions, unfortunately, through the few corners. P. White there in 8th. Hodgie's just gone for a move. And Hodgie's now up to 7th, so he's gone for a great move there on PY as they come through the Bells corners into Clum's corners once again. And Bry there in 9th. Takes that a little bit wide, but manages to keep it on track. Delphi there in 10th position. Graham there in 11th. Rufus there in 12th and last. Currently he's literally just dropped off from Graham. He's not having the best of races again. He had the terrible race for race 1, but he did keep going, so I had to give it to him there, because he could have given up, but he didn't. He kept going. So back up the front, lap 5. Hoggy still has the lead. He is still 2-3 seconds ahead of Bloomfield, as Bloomfield looks to try and close that gap on Hoggy, but at the moment Hoggy's not having any of it. Currently, when it comes down to the laps, Hoggy's fastest lap is a 1:43.2, and Bloomfield's is a 1:43.4. The current fastest lap is Bryden Mechanic with 1:42.9. Hello Rob, thank you, Vodka Rob, thank you for watching, and it's all good, it is all good, my friend. Alright, Flat B is there in 3rd. Looks like he has got a bit of a gap to Chuckinator there in 4th. The Chuckinator's got past Rossi as they comes through Clum's corner. Rossi's dropped down to 5th. They are all on. Bluefield is the first person to take to the pits. So is Flat B, so is Chuck. So they're all going into the pits to take their pit stop. So that's will allow Rossi to get up to 2nd position, Hodgie up to 3rd, PY up to 4th, and Brian the Mechanic up to 5th. Brian the Mechanic has just set a new fastest lap of a 1:42.4. Bloomfield's now come out of the pits onto medium tyres. He has come out in 6th position. Graham there is now in 7th position, but he hasn't pitted yet, so he'll have to pit soon. Flatby there has come out in 8th. Chuck's come out in 9th. Rufus is there in 10th position, just ahead of Sideways, who has been in the pits now, and ahead of Stealth, who has been in the pits as well. So he will, once Rufus goes into the pits, he will drop back down to last position. This question is going to be, when is Hoggy going to take to the pits to go on to medium tyres? Because he has been nearly half this race on the hard tyres. As he comes through Clum's corner once again for the 6th time up the start-finish straight. He's going to do, looks like he's going to do another lap on those hard tyres. So Rossi has now taken to the pits, so has PY. So Hoggy is there in 1st still. Hodgie is there in 2nd now. Brian the Mechanic is now up to 3rd, but he will have to pit at some point. Bloomfield is now up to 4th, with Flatbees up to 5th, Chuck's up to 6th. And Rossi is just coming out of the pits now. He is come out of the pits in the 7th position, with Rufus there in 8th currently, but he is going to have to pit. He's just trying to, because he's on the medium tyres, trying to go as far as possible before he has to change to the hard tyres. P White there in 9th, Sideways there in 10th, Delphi there in 11th, and Graham Lee all the way at the back in 12th. I believe he has just changed, he's just been in the pits to change his tyres. as he brings them down. He comes down towards the death chicane for the 7th time, so they know. Yeah, it does, Rob. To be honest, it does get confusing a little bit sometimes when I'm doing my comms. So anyway, that's 7th. Hoggy does have the lead still. Looks like Hoggy is taken to pit stops now. Yes, he is. So where is that going to bring him back out once the other guys come around? Hodgie is going to, as he's on the mediums, he is going to carry on. So he will take the lead for the time being. Brian Mechanic will get up to 2nd position. Hodgie's still in the pits. He's just filling his fuel up. Bloomfield is just come through Clum's corner on the start finish straight. Is Hodgie going to be able to get out? He has just left his pit box and he has just got back out of the pits. Is Bloomfield going to get by him before Hodgie gets all the way? No, he doesn't. But Bloomfield has this one opportunity on this lap to try and get past Hoggy, as Hoggy's tyres are still going to be cold, whereas because Bloomfield's done a couple of laps, his tyres are going to be at racing temperature. So he's got to use this advantage while he has it. There's Flat B there in 5th. He's being chased by the Chuckanare still in 6th. Rossi there in 7th. P. White there in 8th. Sideways there in 9th as he comes through the death chicane. Rufus there in 10th. And Stealthy there in 11th. And Graham there coming bringing through the death chicane onto Kellogg's corner. Is there in 12th. Anyway, let's go up to Hodgie, who is actually currently leading this race. And he has Brian Mechanic chasing him there in 2nd position. So they're on for another lap, so they probably will pit. They have to, because you have to do a minimum of 3 laps on a tyre, so they probably will pit round about lap 12, I think. Well, the latest they can pit is lap 12. So Hodgie wants to get as far away as possible before changing the tyres to allow his best opportunity to keep that lead. So I don't know if he'll be able to keep the lead. I don't think he's far enough ahead of Hoggy there in 3rd. Well, Brian Mechanic is closing that gap on Hodgie. Brian Mechanic has set another fastest lap of a 1:41.9. Hodgie does have some fuel left, whereas Brian Mechanic could be pitting this lap. Hoggy there in 3rd. He's got Bloomfield chasing him down there in 4th. There is a bit of a couple of second gap between the two of them as they come through the Hills of Might onto Bell's Corner. That's very true. And Hoggy brings them down to Clum's Corner. Now, just for a fun fact, the reason why I call that as the corner, Clum's Corner, why I call it Clum's Corner, because the other way around, when people race on it, they're idiots. When you're racing in a when you're racing in a random nobby on them Clum's Corner, there's always an accident. So anyway, we are on lap 12, lap 10 currently. With Hodgie still is leading as he comes through, come through the death chicane onto Kellogg's Corner once again. With Hodgie there, trying to close where Hoggy trying to close Hodgie down. I think he is gradually closing that gap. Bloomfield there in third. Chuck is trying to chase Bloomfield down, try and get that third position off of him. Flat B's gone out a bit wide there, so that's going to give Chuck a bit of breathing room as they come up. Mighty Mo's and onto onto the Soppy twos. Rossi there is sixth. People there in seventh. Sideways there in eighth. Brian Mechanic there in ninth. He's got a 3 second. He's just been in the pits and he's got a 3 second penalty as he's just come out of the pits. So pit line infringement. Graham there is in 11th. Looks like he could be just about to take that position off of him as he comes through Soppy twos once again. So Brian Mechanic's down to 11th. Now Rufus with 3.5 seconds penalty. He has just been in the pits. Anyway, let's go up to the front. Hodgie has taken to the pits, so Hoggy has now retaken its lead. Chuck's up to second, with Bloomfield there in third, but Bloomfield is trying to rain down on Chuck's parade, trying to get that second position off of him. Flat B there in fourth. Rossi is trying to close down on Flat B. It looks like he is gradually catching him. Flat B's fastest lap is a 42.6. Rossi's is a 42.3. So Rossi is slightly quicker here. Rossi has closed that gap onto Flat B here as they come in now into Soppy twos. Is Rossi going to be able to make a move as they come up the hills of Might? No, he doesn't try it, and now they come through Bell's Corner for the 11th time. P. White is there just behind him, licking his lips, looking to see if them two will have a scrap and coming together to allow him to take 2 positions off of them. So Hodgie, obviously now he's been out of the pits, he's come back out in 7th position as he comes through Clum's Corner once again. Sideways there in 8th. Stealthy there in 9th. Graham there in 10th. Brian Mechanic there in 11th, trying to catch back up after his few mistakes. And Rufus there in dead last, trying to catch someone up to get out of that 11th, out of that 12th position. Anyway, we are on lap 12. We have 3 laps left remaining as Hoggy comes through Kellogg's Corner for the 12th time, coming up the Mighty Mo. Then the Chuckanay is there as he comes through Soppy twos. Is there in second? He is trying to catch Hoggy up. I think he is closing that gap gradually. Looking at their times, Hoggy's fastest lap is a 42.1. Chuck's is a 41.4. So Chuck is running about half a second a lap quicker at the moment. So currently on lap 12, P. White has the fastest lap with a 1:41.2. Just a little bit quicker than Chuck's fastest lap. Is Chuck going to be able to make a new fastest lap here? Nope, he doesn't. So so P. White keeps that corner 4 now. Bloomfield just coming through turn 1 with Flat B there in 4th, Rossi there in 5th. He's still trying to catch Flat B up, but he has dropped off from Flat B now, and Flat B's literally gone, I'm off, bye, see you later. And then there's a big gap to Hodgie there in 6th, who's got past, I think P. White was behind Hodgie. So now P. White's dropped down to 7th, with Hodgie is now up to 6th position. So these two are battling it out for them position. Hodgie has driven off a little bit as they come through to the death chicane once again. Sideways there, hitting the wall as they come through the death chicane. In 8th, Delphi there in 9th position. And Graham there in 10th. Rufus is now in 11th position. He is quite a way back from Graham. He doesn't look like he will be able to catch up in the space of 2 laps unless anyone ahead of him has a really bad couple of laps. And by the mechanic's luck on race 2 is carrying on. He's down there in last position, not having a great race. Rufus has sort of just driven away. So now Rufus has got up to 11th due to Brian not having the best of races. So anyway, we are on lap 14 now. Well, he does have this lead. He's got one more lap left to keep this lead. We're looking at the Chuckinator there in 2nd, licking his lips, thinking, can I catch Hoggy before the end of the race? He is closing that every lap. He is closing to Hoggy every lap. He is on a purple sector currently as he comes out of Kellogg's corner. And he is getting really close to Hoggy, so is Chuck going to be able to take that lead from Hoggy? Time will tell. Sorry, Bloomfield there in 3rd, with Flatby there in 4th. Oh, there's a yellow flag somewhere. Someone's come off. Rossi there in 5th. P. White there in 6th. Hodgie has dropped down to 7th now, so P. White has got back past Hodgie. Sideways there, trying to catch up to sideways trying to catch up to Hodgie as they come through soppy 2s once again. Sideways there in 8th, trying to catch Hodgie up. I probably said that. It's Delphi there in 9th. He's got Graham closing in on him as they come up the hills of Might and go through Bell's Corner, the Bell's Corners for the 14th time. Rufus obviously there in 11th place. Brian Mechanic serving a 3-second penalty. He has been lapped now, unfortunately. So this is the final lap of this 15-lap race. Hoggy has that lead, but Chuck is right there in 2nd. He is literally doing as much as he can, Chuck is doing as much as he can to get that 1st position from Hoggy as they come through Kellogg's corner for the final time. But it doesn't look like he can do anything about Hoggy at the moment, unless Hoggy makes a tiny mistake coming through these few corners. Coming through soppy 2s for the final time, up the hills of Might. The Chuckinator is getting closer and closer. They've just come through the Bell's Corners, coming on to Clum's Corner. Now is the name going to state the name of it? No, but Hoggy gets out of it without an issue, so does Chuck. But Hoggy does have that gap over Chuck, so it does look like Hoggy will take victory here at Dragontail Seaside, so congratulations to him. Chuck will take 2nd position. Bloomfield will take 3rd. Flat B will take 4th. Rossi will take 5th. P. White should and will take 6th position. Hodgie will take 7th. Sideways will take 8th. Stealth will take 9th. Graham will take 10th. Rufus just coming through Soppy 2s for the final time as he comes up the hills of might. He's in 11th, but he is still going. He's had a terrible race again for race 2. But he has kept going. He hits the sand. Brian the mechanic has finished, but he is a lap down, unfortunately. Rufus comes through Clum's corner for the final time. And that is round 8 finished. So anyway, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you next time for round 9 is Nürburgring GP, I believe. So bye bye now, and I hope you enjoyed.